people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness find themselves in city centres looking for help and sometimes living on the street. Access to phones and the internet is key for surviving when homeless and for getting support, but there are serious connectivity barriers. Finding power for charging, covering the cost of mobile plans and keeping yourself safe and your belongings secure, these are some of the challenges facing homeless young people in suburban and urban centres. Young people have a good idea of the connectivity issues they face and a variety of ways to overcome these, but access falls short because of the cost and lack of availability of services when and where they're needed most. Like George, a young man who was homeless in Sydney, young people find themselves having to move around the city just to access the resources they need to connect.
Pretty much similar to everyone else, just walking around endlessly, like trying to find like a simple connection. I just have my Wi-Fi open and stuff, can't even find anything anywhere, like it's pretty hard.
The project, Making Connections, was developed to work with young people who were willing to share their knowledge and insights gained through their experiences of homelessness. The aim was to find out more about their connectivity issues and to come up with a handful of solutions that would be useful for others in similar situations. A group of young people, recruited through Youth Homelessness Services, was invited to an innovation workshop held in Sydney. We hired a participatory designer to run the workshop, and using co-designed tools and activities, we explored how we might improve the digital connectivity of young people. There was a high level of engagement from the young people at the workshop. They came ready and armed with ideas and were eager to get into making. Stories of homelessness were shared early, and there was a lot of understanding and recognition of each other's experiences and difficulties. This created a very good base for coming up with relevant problem statements and project designs. One key idea was providing a minimum level of free Wi-Fi and mobile phone access for all.
It'd be really good because there's internet everywhere. So people who are homeless wouldn't really have to pay anything, and people who already have houses, they'd just have to pay I don't know, half the fee they do now or something. It'd be really efficient for everyone.
Another idea was a secure charging locker located in visible places like train stations and shopping centres.
When you talked about the instance of being robbed while you sleep, I just imagine this case would be resolved if this was implemented in your area, where your important personal items can be stored, so harm wouldn't occur because it's safe locked away.
The peer-to-peer help was a youth-run information platform.
It's a large database of services that is maintained by support services and also youth who have been trained in using it, and to help young people get what they need.
Public libraries are a really important resource for young people.
Most people that I know of have never heard of goddamn Link to Home or other refuges at all.
Yeah, and yet everyone has heard of the library.
So new libraries should be able to provide food, well, maybe not food, but at least shelter and a locker, or at least a shower or utilities.
Okay.
Mainly as well as a bed or sleeping bag.
Sure.
As well as security.
Connectivity is about access to digital technology, but it's also about access to new connections and opportunities.
This is like a loan scheme for people who have been only homeless, or only homeless people. They only get this money if they wanting to save $1,000 a week for them to start a business. So that's 20 weeks, 20,000. Only for people under from the age of 18 to 24. This is just basically, that gives them more of a chance to make it.
The second innovation workshop was set up as a way for stakeholders like libraries, mobile service providers and councils to work together to build on the young people's visions. There were 4 key project ideas from the first workshop that were taken up and developed by the stakeholders. These were worked on and reiterated, and 2 were selected to be written up into design guides to help build support for these projects and steer their development.
Potentially people that want to utilise the service free of charge can volunteer at it, but there's going to need people that have had some basic digital literacy training to be able to help people take a SIM card out and put it into a new phone, or give them advice on what they need to do to get that phone working. It's going to need someone with an understanding of the peer-to-peer apps and the other support tools that would be able to be used. So it's going to need some commitment from people to keep it maintained. I think it's probably fairly easy to prototype and test today if it was to be done via somewhere like a library where there's already Wi-Fi access, there's already power. All you would need is a dedication, whether it's a temporary pop-up kiosk that is around or whether it's just a part of the bench at the end of the check-in counter.
We feel like the library does this in some aspects already anyway, but it's really about packaging what we do and then marketing it out to those people. And I guess the end result is that as they come into the library, they are able to access all these services. So for instance, we might look at inviting Centrelink or Homelessness New South Wales, for example, to come in on a Monday, and that community knows that on a Monday those services are provided in the library. So they come in for those services specifically, and then the library is able to offer other services underneath that.
Today, access to digital and especially mobile technology is essential for navigating and participating fully in city life. For young people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness, it's also a matter of surviving and getting their needs met. Issues of access change with new technologies and according to life circumstances. Through this project, we've learned that there are different dimensions of digital connectivity in urban centres which are critical for young people when they're homeless to prevent them from becoming more vulnerable. These can be summed up in 5 key principles. Connectivity is not just about getting access to devices, but also about the places, things and services that support the making of connections. One of the main concerns voiced by the young people who participated in the first workshop was that their ideas wouldn't go anywhere, that they wouldn't be acted on. So, in addition to design guides, we've set up development groups involving stakeholders and young people to advance these ideas and work towards securing the direction and funding of these projects. Participatory design methods, like those adopted in this project, can be an effective way to identify issues and respond to these working with the groups affected. In the end, while the knowledge gained and solutions generated through this project are valuable, just as important is having a means to build on these ideas and the connections made.